What perfect way to close out what I've June into what I've July. I must be the only one who thinks that like that start music sounds like kind of like a piano Muzak easy listening version of Linkin Park. Am I the only one that hears that?
I hear that too. Yeah,
I can see it.
I keep
it's
waiting.
Appropriate.
I keep waiting for the drop though, and it just like never happens. Well, guess what, friends? It is time for another Mike Seibert Radio podcast live stream, hanging out here on a Friday night. Thank you so much for spending part of your time with us as we talk about CybFest 2024, CybFest Northwest 2024, coming August 3rd to the Kent Commons Community Center in lovely Kent, Washington, just about 20 miles south of the Seattle area, if you happen to be out here in the Pacific Northwest. We're about just shy by 2 days of a month away from the show. And I don't know about you all, but I'm starting to get the nerve chills. I'm just like, oh, that is August 3rd is no longer in the far-flung future, is it?
We are now 4 weeks away.
That's terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. So I've introduced myself. My name is Mike. I'm kind of the media coordinator for CybFest Northwest. I play a relatively small role, but I get to do stuff like this with my friends where we talk about Transformers and conventions. And what we're going to do tonight is kind of talk about this year's convention. We're going to make a couple exciting announcements. We're going to talk about some stuff and some things. We might even name that bot for those of you playing around with us on the social medias. But more than that, since we're doing this as a live stream, it's an opportunity for live Q&A. If you have a question about CybFest Northwest, hit us up in the chat. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and I'm going to keep dead naming Twitter as long as Elon Musk keeps dead naming his kids. So anyway, but no, whatever platform you're watching on, feel free and drop a comment in the chat, questions, comments, concerns, and we'll address those as we go. If you have any general Transformers questions, anything you want, like we're probably going to talk about that Overwatch drop, that reveal a bit. You also got rounding out the Dead Autobots crew. That pre-order went up today, and I still cannot believe that is a thing that exists.
Are there any other toy lines that do like? Because this seems like weird, like from outside looking in, like this seems like a weird thing to do.
Yeah, and you know, I remember when Studio Series 86 started, and I'm just like, watch, what are they going to do? They do Dead Autobots or something like that? Because they were talking about like, well, sure, if they do a Prowl or an Ironhide, I'm like, well, only if they got their faces blown off. And John Hasbro must have been listening to that podcast, because then he was like, hold my beer. Here you go.
Here's your Dead Autobot.
I'm looking forward to the Starscream that's just basically a box of ash. That would be great.
Oh my gosh. Just barbecue ash at the bottom of the grill.
Exactly.
So I've done that thing like I usually do. I get so excited and passionate and eager to talk about stuff that I forget that one, that I have guests, and two, to introduce them. So let's go around the Brady Bunch square here, and let's introduce ourselves and talk a little bit about what we do for the CybFest Northwest, and then from there we'll kind of talk about the convention. Let's start with the depending upon how everybody's screen is orientated. Ben is below me, so let's start with the fellow directly below me. Ben, good to see you, buddy.
Oh, good. I love how where I'm placed is just beneath you, Mike. I think that's both social standings and on the screen, so I appreciate that. I get
a little graphic and everything that says Mike Seibert Radio.
Oh, that's true. I am Ben. I am kind of one that started this whole thing. 12 years ago, 11 years ago. I should know what year we are in CybFest, but
well, last year was our landmark
10th anniversary. Yeah,
so 11. It's amazing.
I think so.
I kind of do a lot of the talking at the show. I am kind of a host of the trivia, and me along with Liz do the raffle, and just generally have a grand old time hanging out with people and being a weirdo.
Delightful. I love it. I caught maybe half of that. Hopefully it's the good half. Hopefully the audio might come out better in the podcast.
Am I too quiet?
No, it's just garbled. I think the heat wave is nuking everybody's Wi-Fi. I don't know why I thought doing a live stream in the middle of a heat wave was a good idea, because I know that heat, electronics, and other sundry things don't necessarily mix. But we'll do the best we can with what we've got. Well, let's continue around the Brady Bunch, and to my left, your right, Whirl, how you doing tonight?
Hi. I'm, as mentioned, I'm hot, but I'm good. It's like 90 degrees in here. We don't have AC, but I'm Whirl. I jumped onto the CybFest boat. I don't even know. I'm with Ben. I don't know how long ago it was, like 5-6 years ago. I had been a vendor before that. Yeah. I came to CybFest in its first year as an attendee. I was 16 years old, and I was enthralled with it. I didn't know things like this existed. I had been to conventions before, but I didn't know there were Transformers conventions. So I was a vendor for several years, and then I kind of shoved my way in by being like, hey, let me do like social media stuff. I'm just going to do it. And then they were like, do you want to like formally join the organizer team instead of just like going off and doing stuff on your own? I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So we all wear a lot of hats. I've kind of become like the artist connection person. There's not like an official title or anything, but we all do a lot of different stuff. I do the artsy kind of side of things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So there's us, and then there's just as many folks of the team who haven't made it for this evening, but their contributions are just as important. We're just the folks that want to take time away from our families and talk on a live stream. Aren't you guys? I kid. Actually,
my family's out of town, so I'm good. I have nothing else to do except this. So,
well, and to kind of yank the curtain away a little bit, we have been meeting. Well, we've been meeting since ever. I mean, is there a time when we're never not meeting? But no, basically, we're going to wedge this live stream podcast in before our weekly CybFest meeting. So we thought that this would be a good opportunity to kind of sneak in and with most of us here together. So with that, let's talk about this year's convention. So last year, as we already said, was our landmark 10th anniversary convention, or 10th annual CybFest. I think that was the phrasing we landed on. So it's number 11. And for folks who haven't attended CybFest previously, actually, Ben, before we talk about this year's show and what's going on, for the uninitiated folks that may be joining us for the first time here, maybe they've attended other Transformers conventions, maybe like a TF Con. I mean, that's coming up next week for our friends in Toronto. But like, let's talk about what CybFest is and potentially kind of what sets it apart from other Transformers conventions like it. And Whirl, I'd love your input on that as well. I have a very specific question in mind that I'm thinking of. But Ben, yeah, what kind of what is CybFest for the uninitiated?
Just a brief history. CybFest grew out of a previous Transformer convention called CybCon, which started as essentially just a get-together hangout. And we have kind of continued that kind of vibe through CybFest, and we know so many people that come and they're friends with us and stuff like that. And so it's a big hangout time that's just very Transformer themed. And we have dealers, and we have games, and we have transforming contests and displays, and a kids play area, and we've been adding other things over the years and stuff. So it's just kind of all things Transformers, and it's just a great opportunity to hang out with like-minded people. It's kind of different from like TFCon and BotCon and stuff like that. Is we're much smaller, and therefore we've got a lot more kind of like a intimate like hangout vibe with us instead of like this giant convention. Which is not to say that if we ever grew to that size that we would fight against it. We kind of go with the flow as far as what our attendees want. And just overall, just try to have a fun day, just hanging out.
Absolutely. So as I had mentioned, Whirl, I had a very specific thing in mind when I was going to ask you, kind of very similar to what CybFest is for you and what kind of sets us apart from other smaller, larger Transformers conventions.
Yeah, absolutely. It is 100% a chance for us to hang out with a few hundred of our closest friends. But it is, I think for me, the biggest thing that sets it apart is how family-friendly CybFest is, which might have been what you're prompting me for. I'm not sure. If I didn't get that answer right, let me know. But it is a families encouraged, welcome, embraced at CybFest. We have tons of stuff for kids. We've got robotics for like demonstrations going that local high schoolers have set up. We've got the contest for the kids. I've set up a coloring contest this year that I'm very excited about. All sorts of really fun stuff.
Absolutely. And you got it right. That was
good.
One of the things that Whirl, that you've brought to the table in my time being part of CybFest Northwest is an emphasis on not just family-friendly stuff, but like kid-friendly stuff. And Ben, I know that's something that's been incredibly important to you as well. And that was one of those things that I think certainly definitely set CybFest Northwest apart from some of other similar shows. Like, at its core, what CybFest Northwest is a toy show, and it's a dealer focused, buying experience. But as CybFest has grown and we've added more people to the team, whether it's our dealer coordinator Jamal or Whirl or myself, we keep adding new spokes to the wheel and expanding it to where it's more than just a dealer room show where you go in and buy robots and then take off. So
you would say it's more than meets the eye?
I would. Gladly and enthusiastically.
Yeah, we've got the panels, there's contests, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and one of the things is when you were talking about the family-friendly and kid-friendly and stuff is when CybFest started, my son was 3 years old, and I wanted him to be able to enjoy it like I did. And so that was always first and foremost in my mind as far as just the activities and stuff to do. And we've kind of, as far as the whole family vibe, Whirl's partner joins us and helps out. Jason's wife helps out. My wife, my son, now he is kind of like our gopher slash like carnival barker at promotional events. He will talk to anybody about CybFest. My mom helps out. I mean, it's really a family event as far as just like the people that we have helping us do this, because we can't do it alone for sure.
Absolutely. And it's a very much a family focused family affair, which is one of the things that drew me to CybFest, is that, there's a number of toy shows that I'm not involved with. This is the one that speaks to me because it has that family community, homey vibe to it. That I really appreciate. Before we move on into kind of talking about some of the exciting things that are coming up during this year's convention, there were a couple folks in the chat that were hanging out earlier. I see Jim Sorensen, the one and only, out on X. Hello. Greg Gobbs, whoop whoop. Bell gives a woo-hoo. And of course, Vice Grip wants more jazz because, why wouldn't you have more jazz? Bell also wrote The Wrangler, which I'm not entirely sure
referring to me.
Okay, so got it.
She wrote that when I was discussing my job title.
Yes, that's what I get for reading chats late and not in real time. But I wanted to address this question from our new friend, Percy G1, who has been really a foundational helper of our burgeoning street team, putting flyers out on trails and stuff like that.
That's really awesome. Thank you, Percy.
Really helping us spread the word. But they write, on the flyers, the transforming contests aren't very self-explanatory. What form do they take? And on an episode of Two Mikes Too Furious that has not come out yet because I forgot to hit publish, we actually talked about the transforming contest a little bit. And Michael Andrews stopped. He's like, wait, what? What? I think I sold him a trip to Seattle just based on the transforming contest. But yeah, so I think it's just one line item on a flyer. But when we're talking about rapid fire, kids activities and coloring contests, and and we'll have panels and the transforming contest and Sue Blue, and it's so that's something that could kind of easily get run over for folks that have never experienced the CybFest Northwest Transforming Contest. What can we say about that to address those questions?
Well, it's an event. It's a thing that we did at CybCon. I remember it back in 2004 when I was at CybCon. It was a G1 sideswipe. And the idea is you're going head-to-head with another person trying to transform it as fast as you can. And then it's kind of like a bracketed tournament. And as you win, then you race against other people until there's two remaining. And then it's let the best person win. And we've done everything from just small transformers, just regular deluxes and stuff like that, to I think we did alternators one year. I always joke about doing Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Optimus Prime, which is a 20-minute transformation in my opinion, just to really have fun with it. This year it's going to be a little different, and that is all I will say. I will not say what figure we're using. That's always a surprise. Whoever wins the tournament gets to keep the figure and have bragging rights for years to come.
There was a year where, was it the trivia or the transforming contest, where they had to identify the figure blind with it behind their back?
That was the trivia contest.
That was trivia.
That was an idea I had several years ago, and that was tough because not only did I have to find doubles of every figure that they were doing, and then they had to hold it behind their back and just be able to tell what the figure is by feeling it. And I was truly shocked how quick people were and how accurate they were. I thought it was going to be a much more challenging game. But go figure, you get a bunch of diehard Transformer fans, and they know their stuff.
Wow.
So
well, and Ben, one of the cornerstones of CybFest Northwest, in addition to all the other cool stuff, we talked in the category of contests. I know you work especially hard on your trivia that you run with Jason. Do you want to talk about the trivia contest a little bit and how that might be different from other trivia contests that folks might be familiar with?
Yeah. So trivia was another thing that we did. It's actually probably the reason why we're doing CybFest at all. Is back in the CybCon days, Greg, who ran it, he just looked like he was just exhausted. And so I offered to run the trivia contest just so he could focus on other things. And that year, I just read his questions and stuff like that. And it was kind of the same thing as, you're going against a person to get asked questions back and forth. And some of them were very difficult. Some of them were very easy. And then after that, he's like, hey, do you want to just take it over? And so I did, but I wanted to have more than just me asking questions. And so I asked Jason, who is the other person who helped start the show with me, to help with that. And so he made it into like the multimedia thing that we kind of keep doing now. And we've changed up the way we do it. We kind of borrow from different game shows. We've done Jeopardy style. We've done kind of like a slow picture reveal, the first one to guess it. We've done like Family Feud style. One thing that we have gone away from is just the one-on-one, because there are some people in our midst at CybFest that have a knowledge of Transformers that no one should really have.
It's in the chat right now.
And they know who I'm talking about then. And and it's just not fair. And so we were like, okay, let's make it more of a group thing and get people who, otherwise it's just very intimidating. You end up with the same 2 or 3 people vying for the ultimate championship of trivia. And so we've added done it more as a group thing. And last year we debuted kind of this pub trivia style, and they get dry erase boards, and the questions are not just, what is Bumblebee's Japanese name or something like that, where it's a single answer. It's now multiple answers. And so the questions tend to have some very easy answers and some more obscure answers. And then they get points based on the number of correct answers they give. And so that way the points kind of vary quite a bit more. And, one team might know a lot more about Beast Wars stuff. Another team might know more about Robots in Disguise or Cyberverse and stuff like that. And so it covers a lot more range, and it used to be like one person could answer at any given time on the team, but you still kind of had that feeling like, oh, I'm not that knowledgeable, so I'm not going to do well. And so now it's more of a group discussion where it's collaborative. Much like it is at pub trivia. And so it's kind of like our McAdams pub trivia is kind of our unofficial title for it. But it's fun. I love coming up with the questions. I love it when I am wrong about some of the answers and I get called out about it, which has happened on more than one occasion. And that means I'm learning something too. So it's kind of fun. And I always like, I'm sorry, I am but just one man. In my defense, I put the questions up for the whole team to kind of go over, and they never call me out. So hopefully that kind of covers all of what the trivia is, because it is really the thing that started all of this for Jason and I, and it's something that we will do until the very last CybFest in 2344. We plan on doing this for a while.
Yeah, that's awesome. Want to say hey to the Rum Runner himself. Ricardo Cruz has joined the chat. Hi, everyone. And asks, I think this is referring to the Transforming contest. Were the figures all G1 or later? And I think that got litigated within the chat. They were across all generations. So.
Oh yeah. We change it up because it's G1 can be very simple.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that tough balance between getting a figure that's challenging but not impossible, as well as something that people would want to leave with, and and also something that's affordable. So, because we pay for them and they get to keep them. So, and the other thing about the trivia contest, as well as some of the other contests we have, is you actually win prizes. You win what we call show dollars or dealer dollars. So you get a little free money to spend at the dealers, and it's a way to we could give you gift card to Target or a figure that you may already have, but this is a way that you can buy what you want. And we're basically giving the prize money right back to the dealers. And then the dealers then bring us the little certificates back, and then we give them the real money. And everyone's happy.
And again, keeping with that community focus, keeping it in the family, as it were. I love that. So I have realized that we've been on this call for almost a half hour. And, while it's been really good chatting about the contest and origins and kind of, some of the stuff that we're excited about, we should probably hit like some of the high points hard, and then get to the point where maybe we can do some reveals. I guess first of all, I've committed bad journalism, because really I've kind of buried the lead here in the primary thing, the main thing that we're the most excited about for this year's CybFest Northwest 2024 is welcoming our very special guest. Obviously, legendary voice actor Sue Blue will be joining us as our very special guest at CybFest Northwest 2024. And we are very excited.
Yeah, she was like our top of a list of voice actors. Like always, like whenever we discuss who we want, she's always like in the top 5. And she doesn't do a lot of cons. And so it was very cool to reach out to her, and it's all because of Paul Eiding. Her contact information, her agent, and all that information is not really publicly known, or at least I struggled to find it. But when I was talking to Paul and mentioned that we would love to get Sue if I could figure out how to get a hold of her, and he's like, "Oh, I'm friends with her. I can give her a contact, give her a call for you on your behalf." And I was like, "Would you do that?" And he said, "Of course." And so he reached out to her. A couple of days later, I get a text from Sue Blue basically saying, "Yeah, thanks for thinking of me. Here's my agent's number. Go ahead and contact him." And then it's been just a wonderful back and forth with the agent about contracts and all that stuff. But she seems excited about it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I am thrilled. I'm sure you guys know I'm a big RC fan. You can't quite see it on my camera, but there is a big shelf of RCs right over there. For a very long time, I collected exclusively RC figures and Transformers. I've gotten a little bit more free with that now that they've made a lot more RCs. But I am super excited for Sue to come. I can't wait to get autographs. I can't wait to just talk to her. That's going to be super exciting. I have so many questions to ask her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're going to get into that quite yet, but I am just super thrilled that she's coming.
Yeah, I must have. Well, I mean, since we're talking about all things Sue, let's just stick with that. We will be hosting a Q&A panel hosted by some of our friends that you see here on this very show, and it's going to be very excited. I think you guys are going to have a blast. It's going to be a really fun panel.
Absolutely, come ask Sue questions.
Yeah, there you go. And so I mean, obviously, Sue is iconic in the world of the Transformers. The season 2 fembots kind of beat RC to the punch, but that's only because Transformers the movie was already in production. So regardless of air dates, I will always consider RC to be the first female Transformer, and that was something that was really important to writer Ron Friedman when they approached him in 1984 and said, "Hey man, we would like you to write a Transformers movie." And he's like, I really think we need to have a female Transformer in there. And it's like, no, that's dumb. No, nobody likes girls. Turns out a lot of people like girls. Who knew? But no, it's I don't know. The being a fan of G.I. Joe along with Transformers, when I was a kid, I don't know what it was about my generation, but we seemed to be conditioned to be accepting of strong female characters. Like, when RC showed up in the movie, I thought she was cool, and I still think she's cool. And I like that she is a character that has had so many different interpretations and iterations that it's interesting through this adventure of doing CybFest Northwest this year and our conversations about having Sue being part of our show. It's really rekindled that thought process that, oh my gosh, I've always liked RC. She actually is one of my favorite characters because she's part of the movie gang. You know, it's like, so I have like a lot of affection for like the entire 86 crew, and she's right there with them. So anyway, that's just a little bit of why I'm so excited to talk to Sue. And now that on my other podcast, Two Mikes Too Furious, that we're waist deep into Transformers Animated, I'm especially excited to talk to her about her work behind the mic, you know, in voice direction, and how kind of like how her career is just kind of like, you know, moved less away from like doing voice work. Like she still does voice work from time to time, but like she's, I think at this point in time, more known for her voice direction. You know, I mean, like look at Beast Wars, you know, for example. But anyway, she's an incredibly fascinating person, and I'm really excited to have the opportunity to chat with her again. I
am so excited. The comment from Halius in the chat here. I'm sorry if I said that name wrong. My girls are excited for CybFest and they get the perfect guest. I just lit up when I read that. That is awesome. I'm so glad to see that.
Yeah.
That is super exciting. Also, I have to acknowledge her career has transformed as, yes, exactly.
Yeah. Been hanging out with Ben with these top tier Transformers puns. My goodness. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say she was RC in G1 and animated, and now she's done voice direction, I believe, for Beast Wars. I think she did some for Prime as well.
Beast Machines as well.
Yeah. So she's run the gauntlet.
Maybe some other stuff too.
Yeah, she does stuff outside of Transformers, but I think Transformers is what she's most known for, and that's, you know, what we're here for. So
she's got some pretty impressive credits. I mean, she did some work on the DreamWorks Dragons, like How to Train Your Dragons TV series. She did some work there, and some of the later Land Before Time movies and stuff like that. So she's got quite a bit of credits to her name, and then she's done some very odd cartoons, but that's. that's to be expected, especially in the 80s.
Sure. Well, and I was going to say, being a part of the bizarre Venn diagram between Friday the 13th fans and Transformers fans.
Oh, yeah.
There are shockingly many of us. It's like I have at least like a half a dozen folks that like we're like solidly in that Venn diagram. It's so weird, but like, you know, she had a role in Friday the 13th Part 7: The New Blood, and my buddy Ryan from Autopod Decepticast brought his full one sheet poster to a TF Con in Chicago, I think it was, to have her autograph it. And so yeah, no, it's cool when somebody can you know, kind of have a diverse career like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like we said, you know, so Sue will be our very special guest. You can meet her, get autographs, photos, as well as the Q&A panel that we'll be hosting. But yeah, I mean, what else could we say? You know, it's CybFest Northwest is fun for all ages. You know, it's the dealer room, it's panels, it's displays. The Whirl, you had mentioned it earlier, but it's the return of the robotics teams. Would you chat about that for a few? Speaking
I'm so excited.
New stuff.
100%. So I don't know if we can technically call it new stuff, but we do have the return of the Orcas, a local first robotics team that will be joining again. They were here last year, and we had a really good reception. They had a great time. They thought it was the high schoolers just thought it was awesome. They brought in 2 robots. They're bringing in 2 robots again this year. They will be letting, you know, kids see the demos. They'll be letting people try out driving them. It's super cool. I think a big part of Transformers is an interest in robots in general. And I think, you know, inspiring kids and showing them like, hey, this is a career path. This is something you can do at school. This is something you can do as an extracurricular. It does not just have to be on your TV. It's something that you can build. You can make this happen in real life. I think that's super exciting. The kids loved it last year. The adults loved it last year.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited that they've agreed to come back again. Can't wait.
That's awesome.
We do have a couple of new things that we're doing this year.
Oh yeah.
That I'd like to talk about.
Yeah. Take us there.
One of the things we're going to do, and this just came together in the last few days, is a friend of mine does a lot of Transformer customizing and scratch builds and stuff like that. And he is going to display his collection of custom figures, which is 40 or 50 different figures from all across the Transformer universe. So they won't be for sale, but they'll be, it's just a fun thing to be able to look at, and he'll be there to talk about it. And he was actually with me at my first CybCon. So him and I stood in line in 2004, and he's pretty much gone to every one of them with me throughout the whole run of that show, as well as coming to CybFest just about every year as well. And the other thing, which is something I've been wanting to do for years, which is have a Lego display. I am an avid Lego builder, and I've been part of CLUG, which is the Seattle Lego Users Group. And one of the things that CLUG does is they do displays at different conventions. And we've done Emerald City Comic Con. We've displayed multiple times at the Museum of Flight and Grit City Comic Con, as well as just kind of various events. We've displayed at a Mariners game. It's a lot of fun. And so I asked them who would be interested in displaying at CybFest, and a lot of them were interested. And one of the things we'll do is we're going to have a big city layout, and I've been building cool little robot Transformer characters that are going to be hidden all around the city. So it'll be kind of like a Where's Waldo of Transformer finding, and people are building their own stuff. Another friend of mine had done a collaborative G.I. Joe build, and I'm hoping that it comes together because it's amazing. And so it's not just Transformer focused Lego. It's going to be open to other science fiction, mechs, robots, that type of stuff. Trying to not be too Star Wars focused, because there's a lot of Lego Star Wars, and it can get overwhelmingly Star Wars pretty quick. But yeah, it was great to see how many people were interested in doing it, and how many were excited about actually just coming to the show, because a month later is BritCon, and all these people are gearing up for that convention as well. And I help out. I'm on staff at that convention as well. So it's going to be great. A lot of the builders are actual local from Kent that are going to be at CybFest. So people that I hang out with a lot. So they would have to face me if they had said no, because I see them a couple times a month, and they would have to see my puppy dog eyes each time we gather. And the guilt will eventually make them change their mind. So, and it did. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I love it. That's pretty exciting. We had mentioned panels a little bit. It's like, we have like trivia and the Sue Blue Q&A. Our friends from Swerve's Bar are returning. They'll be doing a demo panel presentation thing about their growing library of podcasts, as well as their homebrew D&D show that they do. And actually, so like I'm gonna totally dime these folks out, but like, Onyx and Kilobyte are pretty local. So it's like they've been coming to CybFest like as fans and as panelists for the last couple years, but they must have enjoyed their time enough to where now they're bringing their friends. Like Heximus is going to have a table. I hear a rumor that Clickbait will be coming up with them as well. So it's going to be a really good representation of the Swerve's Bar folks. And I think they have an artist table as well. Because like they have an inordinate amount of cool tchotchkes. Like they've got like some like skybound cliff jumper middle finger pins and you know little stuff like that like, you know, as a podcaster myself, I am incredibly jealous by not just their creativity, but also just the fact that they can make all this stuff as well and do all that. So that's going to be something that you won't want to miss. I guess I was gonna pivot and say, well, hey, what else is going on in the panel room? Because like one of the things that, you know, what the things we kind of pride ourselves on in CybFest Northwest is the robust varieties of panels that we have, but I think it's at this point we should address at least one of the elephants in the room a little bit. We haven't talked about what's actually going on at Kent Commons during August, and because folks will find out eventually.
Yeah.
Kent Commons is currently in the midst of a renovation remodel, and some of those renovations will kind of affect some of the things in CybFest. Like the dealer room is the most unaffected, but because of the way the construction is going, we have to kind of make a couple adjustments to where like the front door is and how we kind of configure the panel room and there's going to be like a scary hallway of doom that we'll have to traverse. But it's
good job not freaking him out, Mike.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know about it and I've seen it in person and now I'm terrified. So thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's
one of the big issues is going to be the bathrooms that are in the hallway in between the panel room and the dealer room are closed. So there is a separate set of restrooms that are kind of, and there's like a little path out the back of the dealer room. There's some porta potties, but nobody really likes using that. But you can go into the other half of the building and use the normal bathrooms there. So we knew that they were going to be doing renovations. We didn't know to what extent. And it seemed like they were going to be done before our show, which is why we were kind of timing it for August. It may come as a shock to anybody who's dealt with construction that it's taking longer than it normally does. So now we have to roll with it, and we apologize to all our attendees and dealers and stuff for the inconvenience that we cannot disclose about the booby traps and cursed amulets. We have an NDA that we had to sign regarding that, so I'm afraid that that's all we can say about that at this time. So
it turns out they're just regular amulets; they're not cursed. So,
NDA.
yeah. So, right. Yeah. So Bell writes in the chat, I am now convinced the renovations are to install booby traps and cursed amulets.
Honestly, I need to be the one to say I was really freaked out when Kent Commons emailed us and said, you know, hey, we need you to come do a walkthrough because you're still going to be renovating during your event. I freaked out. Right. Like I was in the chat. I was like, what are we going to do? Like, do we need to move venues? And then we went there and I was like, okay, this actually is not a huge deal. And Mike and I both, I think, mentioned to each other that it's kind of nice to be forced to shake things up a little bit because we've for a very long time, it's just been, this is the layout. This is how we do things. And now that we've kind of been, you know, forced to make changes, it's been nice to reevaluate the layout of like the panel room and the entry and things like that. So I'm excited to see how it impacts future years. And I'm also excited that I got to make cute Constructicon under construction graphics to hang up in the hallway. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fun, but yeah, in the interest of disclosure, it is going to look a little differently. And basically the two areas that are going to be impacted the most is how we've reconfigured the entryway, because the entire front entrance of Kent Commons is now a construction zone. They merged for the kill, and actually it really looks like Autobot City post Devastator, just kind of like, opening up it's a real, their defenses are broken, let the slaughter begin. I'm losing the thread here, but I just saying we're reconfiguring the front entrance, and as such, that has us recontextualizing how we're doing the panel room. And because of that, we're doing fewer panels than we would in normal years. Like, over the last several years, certainly pre and post COVID, we had done a variety of different types of panels, like artist spotlights and all kinds of other cool stuff. So this is going to be kind of like, it might be interpreted as a retraction of sorts, but not knowing exactly how that panel room is going to work with sharing space with the essentially the entrance for folks, we thought we would kind of pare it down to the barest essentials. So basically we've got the Swerves Bar podcast presentation, we've got the trivia, we've got the Sue Blue Q&A, we have the organizers roundtable to round out the show, where depending upon what comes out of San Diego Comic-Con the week before, we might have some robust discussions about stuff that we see and like. We might get a new trailer for Transformers 1 by then that we'll be discussing, but I feel like I'm missing something. Is there I think there's at least one more panel that I can't.
I think you're thinking of the trivia contest.
Okay.
No, he said trivia, but no, we've done 5 in the past, but this year is just those 4. No, okay. You covered them all.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you. It gets really soupy after after a while there. Scotty's bringing back Bumblebee, so we have a Bumblebee Camaro that will be hanging out as well. And this, I love talking about this dude's car because it is tricked out beyond belief with just all of the different like touches. I mean, dude takes us to car shows like regionally.
I feel like and this is something I've always grappled with. I feel like calling it Bumblebee Camaro is underselling it, right? Because you see yellow and black Camaros all the time, and you're like, oh, Bumblebee Camaro, cute. But like this is so next level. Like he's got this whole display he does. There's like insignias in the right places. There's all this. He's got this big like signage, and he's got like when you open the hood of the car, like there's Bumblebee. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. And I this is every time I make like a flyer or something, I have no idea how to like convey properly how cool this car is, because you just put Bumblebee Camaro on there and you're like, yeah, there's a yellow and black Camaro. No, it's Bumblebee. Right. It's very cool. And Scott too is just a super cool person. He is like, number one, he's just like the nicest dude you'll ever meet, but also he is like so incredibly passionate about this car, and it is so much fun to talk to him about it. This is his passion, and you can very clearly tell. And I love talking to people about their passion. So,
which is,
and he's a Bumblebee collector too, and so him and I chat a lot about that. He is a super nice guy, and I keep meaning to get a ride in it, and he says he might let me drive it. So that needs to happen.
That would be pretty cool.
It would be amazing.
Put on the flyer 5 or 10 lines of just trust me, it is Bumblebee, I promise.
Right.
Oh my goodness. So it's also the return of the kids play area, coloring contest that we already mentioned. So just want to remind folks that fans can pre-register to get your tickets now. Go to CybFestNW.com and click on the pre-register now ! Button. There's also a dealer application button for those interested in selling Transformers and Transformers adjacent items at the show. And if you are quick, there might still be a couple dealer tables left. If you're quick, when are we closing dealer registration?
July 20th.
July 20th. Okay, so you still got a couple weeks.
And if we sell out of tables, we will waitlist you in case someone needs to drop out. So
gotcha. Because I was going to say, one of the components of our weekly meetings is seeing how full it is. And it's like, okay, cool. We've got the layout. Okay, well, a couple more dealers just signed up. Okay, well, let's move some stuff around. So it is going to be a jam-packed dealer room, and that's really kind of something we haven't talked about. We talked about Sue, and we talked about the contests and all the cool stuff that we're excited about. But do we want to talk about some of our friends in the dealer room and just kind of like, what that vibe is like, things we're looking forward to. Cause since we blew out the doors figuratively and literally for our 10th annual show last year, doubling our floor space, it's, there's a lot of robot toys to be had. Let me tell you what, but
100%. Go
ahead.
I was looking at the dealer list earlier. We have 42 dealers currently registered. The current layout we're looking at has, I believe, 5 tables left. It's going to depend a little bit on the tweaks that we make, depending on what dealers sign up. But right now we're looking generally between 5 and 10. So around 50 dealers is what we're hoping for, and we've got 42 right now. So, but I will say one of the things I am looking forward to is we have such a wide variety of artists this year. We do have the typical, like print, stickers, that sort of thing. Mike and I every single year get super jazzed about prints and stickers, so I don't want to downplay that at all because those are awesome. But we've also got, there's people making bags. We've been posting in some like local crafty groups. I'm hoping to get some not so typical arts and crafty stuff. Yeah. I have told the story, I think, at like every single CybFest meeting for the past couple of weeks, but there was a TFCon one year I went to and they were selling Transformers themed soap. And I thought that was awesome and hilarious. And I want more stuff like that, but the stuff we already have is so cool. I know Spurs Bar, Mike mentioned earlier, they're bringing their heart hands, like stickers and pins, and they're just various Transformers hands doing cute little hearts. And I think that's super exciting and I can't wait to buy a bunch. So
I just think it's funny that the thing you fixate on is the heart hands, but I immediately go to the
middle finger.
If that doesn't sum up both of you, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I think so.
One of the dealers is Kicks Generations Toys. They're going to be here this year, and CY is going to have even more awesome stuff. He's been a huge supporter of the show over the years, and it's from the days of CyberCon as well as CybFest, and so he'll be there. Ryan King will be there. Bunch of familiar faces from other dealers. If you've been to CybFest, you will definitely recognize several of the dealers. And what's great about it is a lot of them bring different stuff each year, and so just because you've seen them before doesn't mean their stuff is old. It's quite the variety, and it really does cover the entire range of all Transformer interests from G1 all the way through Earth Spark and stuff like that. So it's a pretty epic dealer room for us, and we're excited about it.
Atomic Mariachi is bringing back his unofficial CybFest exclusive hot sauce. My mouth just broke for that entire sentence, but the unofficial CybFest exclusive hot sauce is returning this year, and I'm very excited about that.
That's amazing.
Prior to
I did not get it fast enough last year.
Were you drinking the hot sauce before you said that?
No, because I missed last year. It sold out before I could get to it.
Oh, there you go.
I don't even like hot sauce, but like it's CybFest exclusive, so I have to have it.
Yes. I mean, name me another convention, Transformers or no, that has an official hot sauce.
I want to get more unofficial official stuff. I think that'd be great.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think that would be awesome. I think we could get in touch with some of these craftier vendors like Royal was talking about. Maybe get some official, unofficial CybFest soap or something like that. Official,
unofficial CybFest coasters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love it.
All sorts of things.
I love this. It's funny. We got this far, and I looked down and I realized we haven't even talked about the shirts.
We have
Yeah, hot off the presses,
Here.
literally. Oh, see, that actually does work. Look at that. I could see
Yeah.
my chair has a rung on it, but no, we have unleashed the design for this year's shirt, and it features a the stickers came in. Nice.
I have 16 CybFest stickers, and I've also got a tote bag on the way. I got a big old tote bag because every single year at CybFest, I've just piled all my stuff in a corner behind the dealer booth. Now I will pile all my stuff in a tote bag behind the dealer booth, and it's on brand.
literally. So, for folks listening on a podcast and not necessarily seeing the video, we're showing the shirts off, which shows a incredible line art of RC in vehicle mode, obviously as a tribute honoring our very special guest, Sue Blue. But Ben, would you like to talk about how this year's shirt came together?
Yeah. So the line art of the RC car is done by my brother, who is a artist who loves drawing cars, and it was something he always did as a kid, and they were always impressive. And so I asked him, "Hey, would you be interested in doing an RC car?" Liz had done a kind of like a little mock-up of what we were thinking, and he jumped at the chance, and then Liz took the design and made the shirt, put the CybFest logo and the 2024 and made it all cool and stuff. So I'm not sure if my brother will be able to make it to the show. I'm hoping he will. But I wish I had links to his art with me, but I don't right now. And but yeah, he does custom work and commissions and stuff like that.
Nice. It's a really cool design, and it lends itself to stickers and shirts and things like that.
And it goes back to the whole family thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Randall Ang has joined the chat. Sue is so sweet. Great guest! ! Well,
We think so too. Yeah.
You know who also is sweet? Randall Ang. Good dude.
Right. I want Randall Ang to be a special guest too.
Exactly. I'm saying. Nobody mentioned, but you can buy the CybFest shirts right now on our TeePublic, and also the stickers and hoodies, etc. Tote bags, magnets.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to drop a link right here in the chat.
Perfect.
I want to tell a story that I experienced, and it was great. I was at McClendon's Hardware doing a little shopping, and I turned down an aisle, and at the other end of the aisle, I saw a gentleman wearing a CybFest shirt, and I was like, "That's amazing." And so I kind of walked up to him, and because I'm the one who kind of talks a lot during the show, like doing the raffle and stuff like that, I just assumed he would recognize me. He did not. So when I said, "Hey, I know what shirt that is," he was like, "Oh, okay." Completely confused. I'm like, "Yeah, the CybFest, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, I help run the show. Oh, okay. So then it just kind of, he seemed very puzzled by my excitement initially, but then we chatted quite a bit, and he was talking about how he brought his kids the last few years and his girls and stuff like that, and I was like, "Oh, well, do they have favorite characters and stuff?" And he said one of his girls had her favorite character was RC. This is after I knew that we were having Sue Blue, but before we announced it, so I could not say anything. But I said, I really hope she is going. I hope you're going to bring them this year. I hope. And he's like, "Yeah, that's the plan." So I was like, "Awesome." So it was kind of a fun moment to see our little portable billboard walking around the aisleways of McClendon's and stuff.
Out in the wild.
Out in the wild, yes.
That's
so buy CybFest shirts and You too can be advertising for us.
And Ben will come up and talk to you awkwardly as well.
Oh, I will. And then you can have that kind of like awkward, like, I got look at the time. I've got it. And then I will start talking on a completely different topic and make you have to sit there for a lot longer. Until the point where you just grab me by the shoulder and say, I have to leave. And then I may get it. I might not. So if you want this face coming up to you publicly and chatting to you, wear your shirt.
Exactly. Randall adds in the chat, that's tough when you know things and can't say anything. Nice, it will all work out. And that is for sure. I before this last TFCon LA back in, oh God, when was that? March? I was on their show just to talk about stuff that was going on at TFCon, and one of their co-hosts, Anna, who ended up joining me for the podcasters roundtable down at TFCon LA, super into RC, super into Sue Blue. And so I was, talking about like, oh, well, hey, I've met Sue before. She's terrific, this, that, and the other thing. And she's like, yeah, man, maybe she'll come to a convention that I'll go to. I'm like, maybe, I don't know. It took like every bit of restraint that I had to be like, come to Seattle in August. She's coming. I can't tell you, but I want to tell you she's coming. Come to Seattle in August and meet Sue.
I mean,
what's awesome is that we actually have things that we know, the three of us know, that we haven't been able to say.
And now we should at some point that we could.
we should say some of that at some point during this.
Exactly. And that's about as good of a segue as you're going to get, because I was going to say, friends, we've been here for an hour. And ironically enough, I even put in the title, huge announcement. And it's like, what is the huge announcement? What, that you're doing a convention? I knew that. Oh, what, that you have a cool special guest? I knew that. You've got a t-shirt? I knew that. Well, thank you for everybody that's following us on social media. But yeah, so really, this has just been an hour of just like catching everybody up. Previously on CybFest Northwest.
Well, we did announce the Lego display and the custom figure display. So that is new information.
And it's pretty big news, but it's not the big news.
It's not the big news.
Correct. So we basically have two bits of huge news, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. And I think they're pretty intertwined.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we should probably do the other one before we do the other one, because the other one is tied to the other one.
I'd say so.
It's amazing.
The two-dimensional is tied to the three-dimensional. So we'll do the two-dimensional first.
Sure. Let's do that. World, do you happen to have that asset? Because if you don't, I think I do. I have it here. I think I got it here in Discord.
Yeah, I've got it in Discord as well.
I like the term asset when we're talking about something like this, because it makes it seem like covert spy stuff.
I think so. And I think I may have picked that up from interacting with y'all.
Let me see how. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, and we'll see if I can do it right.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes, because I have kind of the. Oh, this is going to work. This is going to work because, like, I think in my screen share, the sizing isn't correct.
We'll see, because it is vertical and my screen is horizontal. So we'll find out how it goes.
We will see how this goes. So, do we? What kind of introduction do we want to have for this this reveal? Because I almost feel like we just kind of need to reveal it and then talk about it, because it's something
I think so. I think let's here, I'll do a drum roll for you.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if my mic's picking that up or not.
It is. I love it. All right. Well, let's share my screen.
Yay!
And that actually worked. It went in the configuration I wanted to.
Awesome.
So this is our exclusive print for CybFest Northwest 2024. Watching at home on the screen, some of the details might be smaller, which is why you need to come to CybFest and buy it. But no, we've partnered with longtime CybFest Northwest collaborator Ben Hansen, who has basically done this print showing off obviously the Seattle skyline and a freeway full of cars. One of which being, of course, obviously Car Mode RC to obviously in honor of our very special guest Sue Blue. You gotta have RC front and center there, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this print because I want to take a little bit of credit for being the one that pitched the idea first off, because
Yes.
since I first moved to Seattle, one of my favorite views has been coming over this specific bridge into Seattle and seeing that view of the water and the skyline and the Space Needle off in the distance. And I brought that up when we were talking about the print idea. And Ben, he ran with it. He brought it to life and he threw all these cool cameos in here. One of the silly little things we did, that's not enough cars for Seattle. Yeah.
How much is true?
But one of the fun little silly things he did for us was he put all the organizers' cars on the freeway. So that little green car behind a suspiciously familiar trailer, that's my little Ford Fiesta. It's like mint green.
The blue car behind Bumblebee is mine.
Yeah, there's a lot of blue cars on this.
A lot of blue sedans.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at it, I'm like, is that Jason's car or is that my car? I'm like, oh, well, yeah, Nissan Altima, kind of Honda Accord. They're the same car. It's all blue sedans. But.
Yeah.
And Breakdown is in there. And I'd like to think the police car kind of in the lower right is Chase from Rescue Bots. But
Really,
it
I
might be
assume
Barricade.
Prowl.
Prowl's white.
Yeah, I think he's too blue. I think he's too blue to be a Prowl.
That's fair.
Percy asks in the chat, is that Broadside hanging out there in aircraft carrier mode out in the sound there? And I believe
I haven't
so.
picked up that one.
Yeah. And the little tan, I believe, is Autobot City. And Sea Spray's in there. This is amazing.
I think that bottom right corner, I think that's animated Bulkhead and Bumblebee. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it is Bulkhead and Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And I'm following him, so which seems very appropriate.
Or she headed north. Yeah, she didn't. She actually.
Oh, you
did
think
not
that's
want
Red
to be in
Alert?
Seattle any longer.
Yeah. Well, it could
crowded here.
be after the convention, I suppose.
She's going to. She wanted to check out Vancouver, so she's headed that way.
Yeah, there you go.
Canada, not Washington. That's the other way.
Right, the other Vancouver.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this print. I really love subtly nerdy art, I guess. And this is, while it is there's a lot of cameos in here, I do feel like it's subtle enough that you could see this hanging up in just some random person's kitchen and you'd be like, oh, that's nice art of the Seattle skyline.
Yeah.
People
Absolutely.
like this print. That is awesome. I'm super excited about the reaction to this.
Yeah, because some of the discussion we had was like you had said, Whirl, it's very it's very subtle in the way that it presents. But that was kind of like the artistic drive of it, and not have, because Ben's got some terrific prints both in his past catalog and also some new stuff he's working on that we probably can't talk about. But basically if you want Transformer focused prints, Ben Hansen has got you covered. This was something that that we had him do for us for our exclusive that we'll be selling at the organizers table. But there was a bit of legislation about is this too self-indulgent? Is this too subtle? And judging by the reaction that we're seeing so far, I think it seems to be clicking and resonating with folks. So that's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, I love Ben's art. Is it too self-indulgent? I think it's definitely self-indulgent, but I think we're all nerds. I think other nerds will resonate with it as well. I have so many of Ben's prints too. I'm just a big fan of Ben's art. I've got 2 hanging up on my wall to the side over here, and then a bunch more in my print book back there. So I'm excited. But this print, makes a little cameo somewhere else.
It sure does. And then that is going to lead us to the
I'll go ahead and stop sharing real quick.
Yeah. So yeah, you can stop sharing yours, and then I will start sharing my screen. Let me make sure I've got the right tab selected, and if this works, this is gonna go very same way as the other one. So actually, no, if I was better at this, give me 1 second. I want to add another little bit of suspense and pageantry to things, because apparently we haven't had enough suspense and pageantry all ever. And Rick agrees with me. Never. This is awesome.
Yes, more suspense and pageantry.
Yes. Oh, here we go. Okay, open image in a new tab. And recently, and this kind of ended up being like a accidental theme that we've been going through during the 40th anniversary of the Transformers brand. And like from the official account on their various social media platforms, they've been putting up a basically like a "who's that Pokemon" type of thing. You've probably seen me share these to the CybFest page. But then we thought, in accidentally keeping in with that theme, we wanted in on some of that action as well. So over the holiday, we put up our own Name That Bot. And I think, my friends, it is time to name that bot. What do you say?
I've seen some good guesses. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I will say this has been this figure has been like a number one dream of mine to have.
Oh yeah.
So I mean I pitched this idea, I think, before to Randy when we were talking about doing an exclusive with him. And I've talked many times, like, why hasn't a third party done this figure, this idea? And so the fact that it's happening and CybFest is responsible makes me so very excited.
All right. So, Whirl, you want to give me a drum roll?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that worked out pretty well. All right. Presenting for you here now, 1 hour and 17 minutes into the CybFest Northwest 2024 : huge announcement live stream. My hands are getting tired.
Help!
Please welcome to the chat, Carbot Darcy.
Yeah! I'm so excited. This is awesome. I didn't even think.
Now we have a G1 RC. I mean, Darcy. Sorry, got something caught in my throat. So yeah, I've always wanted to have a G1 version of this character, and thanks to Alex Gobb at Blue Forge for doing it. This was I don't know if he actually knew that I've always wanted this. I think he pitched this idea separately, or we had talked about it a long time ago, and he just said that he wanted to do it. But I think he knocks it out of the park. And it's inspired by a prototype, right?
Yeah, I mentioned a while earlier in the stream, I was an RC completionist collector for a very long time. And if you go to TF Wiki and you go to RC's toy page, this is one of the first things there. And it was always this like gap in my collection of like, this thing no longer exists and I'm never going to own it. And that sucks. Right. And now I am just thrilled because this thing exists and I can own it. And it's going to look so cool on my shelf.
Yeah, we spent so much time chatting about, like the naming convention and what this figure was. But, like I had mentioned earlier, like with bringing in Sue as our guest, and now with our exclusive figure, it's really reminded me and rekindled my my affection for the RC character. It's like, I mean, look at her. I mean, she's awesome. She's just
so cool.
Just awesome. And we're so happy to be working with Alex again, the architect behind last year's exclusive Generation Zero wheelless Jack. And the thing with Alex is he's always looking to challenge himself and step up his game. So even when he presented this to us, like, this is mostly Alex's idea that we just kind of went with. In fact, I think this was even in the works. It's so funny. It's like a chicken and egg thing. I think like it was in parallel where we were working on the figure, but we were also thinking about having Sue come in as our guest. I don't know if people will believe us when we say that the two are not as related as you would think.
It was serendipity.
Quite so. So some of the reactions we've got here, we got a cool with a bunch of O's. She looks awesome. G1 exclamation point. Nathan adds has a nice G1 vibe. Greg has been on the stream for almost an hour and a half waiting for us to reveal it.
Sorry, Greg.
Because I would imagine he's been burdened with that same knowledge that we've had this whole time. Just like, okay, well, when are they gonna announce it? Belle, the car mode looks so cool. I adore that. Year of RC Barbie, which I am
baby, I think.
Oh, baby.
Year of RC, baby.
No, but ironically enough, I was going to say we had so many conversations about the correct shade of pink. And it's I remember one of my contributions was like, more.
Make it pinker.
Screaming. Because like, for as much as I like the Studio Series 86 RC figure, she's a great figure, but like the tone of pink is a little more muted than I would like. Now, granted, now that we're kind of in the Alita Renaissance, and that they're kind of I think Alita 1 is more fuchsia at this point. So you got to do something to kind of differentiate them a little bit, but also no, for somebody who owns a bunch of blue robots, you can have just as many pink robots as well, and it not be a problem. So do we want to look at some of the other stuff related to this now revealed exclusive?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I don't know if it's like silly to be excited about this, but I think all the extra stuff that comes with it is really cool.
Yeah. It's, I'm just like everything about this, and everything about this project has just like gotten me just like thoroughly jazzed. Pardon the pun there. Let me see. How far back up do I want to go? I did want to show one thing. I'm scrolling through the Discord because like at one point Alex had put up prototypes of how she scales, and I thought I would show that for some of our friends as well. And now I can't. Why is that not working? Okay, there we go. Well, let's go back to share screen here. Is it this one? So yeah, so there is Carbot Darcy with the Transformers the movie retro pink hot rod, and you can see how she scales pretty perfectly there. I thought he had a maybe that's too far back. These are like unpainted prototypes and stuff like that. I'm not going to that's not for you. That's not for you. Ask Alex. I'm sure. But just take my word for it. Like I have a picture of a prototype, unpainted prototype of Carbot Darcy standing with G1 Cup, G1 Blur, and G1 Hot Rod, and she fits in perfectly. It's like this is the toy we never got, and
I'm so excited.
I'm finding it difficult to contain it even now, even where I'm supposed to like be presenting stuff here. So if you remember the packaging design for Generation Zero Wheelless Jack from last year, not only was it a terrific figure, but it had incredible box art and design as well. Oh, there
Alex just posted in the Discord. It's as if he knew.
Oh, thank you, sir. Okay, I'm
Oh, perfect. Alex, you rock. Alex, I'm assuming you're here listening to us.
Yeah, listening, waiting. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's
awesome.
Again, that is just chef's kiss. My God, I cannot shut up about how much I love this figure, and I haven't even talked about some of the stuff that I love the most about it yet. I mean, yeah, sure, the figure's fine. It's great. It's a toy we never got. Yeah. We're really exciting. Tell me about packaging. It's like packaging. Yes. There's we got this guy also.
What I love about this Darcy, is that it, especially when you see it with the other G1 bots, how perfectly it fits in. And if you didn't know it was a long after the fact figure that was made, you would think it was 1986 and it came out. The quality is just that good. Yeah, it's terrific. So Randall posted in the chat, really nice stylistic match. Good job, guys. Thank you. That
Alex,
job goes to Alex. Yeah.
I did absolutely nothing other than give notes about like more pink. What about packaging? That kind of thing. So one of the goals, I'm going to share a number of screenshots here. One of the Alex had some very specific references in mind when designing the packaging for Darcy here. So I'm going to share some of these samples and we'll talk about them a little bit, but I would imagine we'll get into more of this at CybFest with perhaps with Alex. We might throw up some slides, workshopping some stuff live on the air, because like there's a lot of this stuff that I feel like we could spend even more time than we perhaps have here tonight. But like, here's a sample of what the box is going to look like. So even you have at the top, you can see the transformation scheme, the classic G1, start, change, finish. And we talked a lot about how the presentation of the picture in robot mode would look. And we kind of went back to like a lot of those Mark Watts G1 original kind of, even some like old, like, Diaclone art and car robots and all that crazy stuff. And one of the things that was interesting about the original G1 art is like all just like the crazy proportions. And one of the things we had talked about with Alex, it's like, I'd really like to see something like that, where it's not just like, the robot just standing there like a robot. I really want to see some like an enormous fist or just like a weird hand grabbing at you or something like that. And I feel like the interpretation that Alex put in here, just moving some shapes around, really evokes that the spirit of kind of like the weird angles and kind of the evocation of some of that that original art. Percy likes the way that looks.
That means it's good. Percy approves. We're in the clear. I like
it. But we're not quite done yet, because now I'm a nut for packaging. I'm a box collector. Like, so one of the things that I talked about a lot, much to the dismay of my fellow organizers, I'm sure, is like, what's the box gonna look like? It's like, yeah, but there's this figure that we never. Yes, but what's it coming?
Mike is so much into box collecting that when he buys a new TV, he leaves it in the box. It's amazing.
I have had people share memes with me of like a nightstand in the box. It's like, oh yeah, buying furniture from Mint Inside box collectors. It's like, yes, fine. Watch my Mint Inside box television. But should I reveal the one thing or the other thing? The one thing is like the total thing.
I'd say start with the easier to interpret thing and then go for the whole thing.
Yeah, because the whole thing is kind of difficult to interpret.
I'm now totally lost. So I know what's coming up, but I'm now very confused.
Yeah. So Whirl has we have mind melded.
Thank God for you two.
Yeah,
Mike, you and we could pilot a Jaeger, I think.
I think so. Drift compatible. I just want to drive a robot. That would be cool. Oh my goodness.
Stay tuned for JaegerCon.
That's something else entirely.
No, that's true. I didn't think that one through.
Oh no! Oh, licorice flavored booze. No, thank you.
I have no idea what's going on, and I'm excited. I'm sorry. Let's do the thing.
Yeah, let's just do the thing and work our way back. So keeping in with the theme of box art and packaging, I would like to show off this bad boy here. Now, this is the back of the box for Carb. I keep wanting to add an extra Carbart. I don't know why I want to call her Carbart for Carbot Darcy. And basically what Alex has done is he's designed tech specs and has come up with a really cool bio. Her function is Valkyrie, which I think is particularly metal and badass. Quote, ferocity without compassion is brutality, which has that. I think that is a very RC type of thing, because I think I would define her character as much by her capacity for compassion as it is for being a proficient warrior as well, which is why I like that character so much. Let's see. Oh, we got a wow face from Ricardo. We got a tech specs exclamation point, comes with a decoder question mark, that from Randall. No, but Alex was pretty cheeky on this one. He wrote with the tech specs, and it's even got robot points and stuff too. Clip and save. Use a special decoder from 1986 to decipher your tech specs.
Yeah,
not included.
Randall, you should have your own already. Where's your decoder, Matt?
So you get like kind of like the G1 hallmarks, robot points, tech specs, but you also have the cityscape from the Ben Hansen print, and even moved Sea Spray around a little bit so that he kind of gets a starring role in this packaging. So basically this is the back of the box. And I feel like it's in keeping with everything that's unique and special about CybFest Northwest. It's like, in the spirit of artist and toy maker collabs, Alex Gobb X Van Hansen, that kind of thing. The X is silent. But no, I really like how this turned out. It's a very cool. It's a very cool composition.
So this was the easy to interpret thing I was talking about, and then we've got the whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, let me bring that up, and we're just going to bring it all around and all together, leaving you satisfied with literally everything. So this is basically a design of what the entire box is going to look like. So you've got the front of the package, the top, the back, the sides. And it looks very, very cool. I saw a early version of this that Alex shared with us, and I gave him a celebration emoji, and I'm like, you made this specifically for me, and it makes me so happy. I mean, this is just incredible. And that is a window box, by the way, and I forgot to mention that. Like, you can, I'm not going to share the prototype here, but like, Alex shared with us a version where with the functioning window where you see Darcy, in car mode sitting in the box again, much like G1, where it's like you've got car mode and then robot mode represented in the art. And folks, I am just so excited about this. I can't contain it.
It's so cool.
It is so cool.
I cannot wait to put one on my RC shelf. It'll be the Darcy shelf from then on.
There you go.
I think that was our big announcement.
That was it. Yeah, that is the titular huge announcement for
I
the
do
team.
like how Whirl, you were like, I think that was our big announcement. Like,
I think that was
like,
it.
like there,
Yeah.
yes, that is our big announcement.
I think that was our big announcement.
Why is this a question to you? That is not a tease to that there is something else. That is
There was a
that is our
second
big
half
thing.
to the sentence where I was going to say, what do you guys think?
Also, we will be revealing what. Yeah, that's going to be the question. Is the number of them that are going to be available, as well as how you'll be able to get it, is going to be revealed shortly. We're still finalizing all the details to that. I'm trying to remember. 30-ish will be available. Does that sound about right, guys?
I think it was a couple less than that, but around 30 is what I believe that Alex is aiming for right now.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll chime in and correct us.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, because and you know, Ben, you teed it up perfectly. It's like it's a real TBD. Like, you know, we'll announce prices and availability soon. We just wanted to reveal the figure tonight because we were so excited about it. But she's going to be incredibly limited, and it's because it's literally handmade. Like, Alex is making all of these figures. It's not like we're contracting with somebody from a factory. I mean, just like Wheelless Jack last year, it's like, you know, he molded all of those parts, hand painted all of those parts, even stickered the boxes, you know, that kind of stuff. So while it is an incredibly exciting figure that we're all eager to have in our collections, the unfortunate reality is that there won't be enough to go around to meet demand. So it is kind of a bittersweet reality, but I also hear rumors that maybe in the far-flung future, perhaps more may become available, just not necessarily for CybFest. And I'll leave it there for other folks to interpret and announce. I don't want to stomp on anyone else's announcements there, but yeah, no, it's again, we're really excited for the figure, and stay tuned to the CybFest Northwest channels for more information as we get closer to the show. Looks like we got about 15 minutes before our meeting. So before we sign off here, Ben Whirl, first of all, thank you so much for taking extra time out of your Friday night for hanging out with me extra on this live stream. I greatly appreciate that, helping me get it. I mean, it's one thing for me to just sit here and do all these screen shares, but it's so much funner with friends. So thanks for joining me on this. Always
love.
We should see if anybody has any questions before we head out too.
Absolutely, yeah. So chat, now is your time. Questions, comments, concerns. Randall points out that's a lot of work, and it is. And Alex is very proud of the craft that he's done, but the other side of that double-edged sword is scarcity, unfortunately.
He has blood, sweat, and tears in every single Darcy.
Yes. You have to know somebody that knows somebody. Smiley face. Exactly.
Yeah, the process, we do have it like 90% of the way worked out. We just don't want to say anything because we don't want to give misleading expectations right now.
Yes.
So I will say it's not a matter of us not having, like, we're not there yet. Like, it's worked out. We just want to make sure the wording properly conveys what we want to happen.
Correct. Yeah, we're not quite equipped for that level of conversation and logistics. And I see Percy's comment about the cosplay arrangements, and yeah, we'll chat more about that offline as well.
I mean, I can just answer that right now. It's a quick answer. There's a family bathroom you can change in, Percy. We can keep your stuff behind the organizer counter if you want.
We promise we won't go through it.
Pinky swear.
I could do that. Yeah. So, coming up in the near future, we are gassing up the CybFest Northwest tour bus we'll be making some stops on some various podcasts and radio shows and things like that. So keep tuned in to the CybFest Northwest social media accounts for those announcements. We're going to do a show with our friends from Transmissions sometime during the month. July's going to be busy, so we're all going to jump on transit and kind of do a mini tour as we talk about this year's convention that we're really excited about. But anybody watching this video or listening to the podcast, if there are Transformers or Transformers adjacent outlets, specifically like Pacific Northwest outlets that we should be in touch with that we aren't already, reach out. I'm incredibly available.
I will real quick. I want to throw in someone in the chat 4 minutes ago registered for CybFest Northwest that I was surprised it took this long. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to call anyone out. But if you're in the chat right now and you haven't pre-registered for CybFest Northwest, you should probably go do that, because if you're in the chat, that means you're probably coming already.
Yeah.
So go.
Or you should be coming already.
Yeah, and if you're not coming, come to CybFest because it's really cool and it's going to be a lot of fun and you can get a cool exclusive.
And buy lots and lots of toys.
If you're still in the chat, you know who you are. I appreciate you registering. But if you have not pre-registered yet, now is a good time to go do that.
Yeah, because it costs more at the door. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, this will be our first year where the price goes up at the door. The cost for the venue, as well as getting special guests and stuff like that, has gone up, and we have raised the account. Yeah, we've fought raising our prices for several years now. So unfortunately, we're going to have to succumb to a little bit of a price raise. But we wanted to make sure that if you pre-register, that you can still get in at that original CybFest price. As far as next year, I don't know. We don't know what we're going to price it at. But at this point, we want to keep it priced so that it is accessible to as many people as possible, as well as families, because we do have our family discount, which I believe is 2 adults, up to 5 kids.
And that's $25.
We really want to get those kids to obsess over Transformers so that the brand never dies. And so
Hasbro, if you're watching and you're mad at us, we're doing the work for you, so don't do anything.
Yeah. You're welcome, Hasbro.
You're welcome, Hasbro.
Tell all or one. Oh my gosh. But yeah,
we love you.
Well, yeah, that is true. So, but yeah, just a reminder on pricing and pre-registering. Pre-registration prices for adults is $10. Kids from 5 to 12 is $5. Small kiddos from 0 to 4 is $0, and families, which is 2 adults and 2 to 5 children, is $25 for the whole brood of ya. That's at a time where I spent $55 for a weekend pass for TFCon.
Oh my god, I just got Subway. It was $40 for me and my wife. Like, huh?
Yeah, right.
There's not a lot you can do for $12 anymore,
Exactly.
So not to
or
be
10.
It is 10 or $12. It is a very good deal.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can buy 4 Subway sandwiches or 2 Subway sandwiches, or you could bring 4 people to CybFest for the same price. So, Which one is the better bargain?
I just might need to coupon at Subway better.
Maybe. Friends, I think that's about all the problems we can cause for now. I think we've I think we've done a pretty good justice for the show. There may be a return of the Healy drag races again. We'll see. I may or may not have been practicing, but not too much, because I got a reputation to maintain. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But again,
have you been practicing?
I may have put them on last week.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
If you have Heelys, bring them to CybFest. Don't necessarily wear them the whole time because that's uncomfortable, but bring them to CybFest and join us for the not the inaugural because that was last year, but the unofficial official CybFest kickoff Heely drag race.
There you go.
Do not make our insurance go up.
Oh, we need to find a new place to do it because that hallway's closed.
Oh yeah.
Well, the hallway is open. We just can't.
Not the downhill chunk that we used last year.
Oh.
Yeah. These are the important topics we need to discuss in tonight's meeting.
You can start at the top of James Hill and just go all the way down.
Oh man. So I want to remind folks that all of this and more is coming up August 3rd, CybFest Northwest 2024. That is going to be at the Kent Commons Community Center. It's about 20 miles south of Seattle, across from the Showware Center in lovely Kent, Washington. More information could be found at cybfestnw.com. And come to Seattle, come to CybFest, celebrate all things Transformers for the 40th anniversary, and come hang out with us because we're nice.
You can get your picture taken and autographs of Whirl and Mike and myself for very low prices.
Self-proclaimed local celebrities.
I mean, I'll have some pod swag there. I'll have I have those mini prints that Apollo did a couple years ago for me, where it's podcaster Soundwave. I got Mike Seibert radio podcast buttons. I got 2 Mikes Too Furious buttons. So I'm I'll have some stuff at my my little media table there. But
yay!
I think my son still has the Soundwave picture on his wall. So
that's amazing. I love that. That is so.
I need a 2M2F pin. I don't have that yet.
Yeah, well, I get you one. I get you one.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
So before we all part ways and sign off and then re-sign on to Discord for our weekly CybFest organization team meeting, any parting thoughts? Anything that that you want to leave the audience with that we may not have legislated already?
I'm so excited. I am so excited. Come to CybFest Northwest 2024, August 3rd at Kent Commons Community Center, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., 10 a.m. if you register early. I am so excited. I can just put the mic in my mouth if that would be better.
Yeah. Very good. How about you, Ben?
I'm not sure if she can. I don't think Will conveyed it, but she's pretty excited about this. A little bit. No, we love putting this on. We love hanging out with people, even if we don't get very long to chat with everybody. Some favorites of mine have popped up in the chat. Vice Grip was in there, who's always been he's one of the earliest friends I've made in the Transformer fandom. So it's awesome that CybFest is our way of catching up and stuff. He's an awesome guy. And just it's so much fun, and I love the community that has been built around CybCon and now CybFest, and to help be a part of that and to help kind of create and make it bigger while still keeping that fun vibe of like, we're just friends here is great. So
join the street team.
Street team. If you have places, comic book shops, game stores, anything like that, where you think like, hey, they would probably put up a flyer, join our street team on Facebook, and then we can send you some of that stuff so you can kind of help us promote, because we cannot hit every place in the area. And each year more and more people know about CybFest, and but each year other people are like, why didn't you put up a flyer at this place or this place? And there's just only so much time. We all have jobs and families and lives, and we're just and on top of planning this con and stuff like that. So if you want to help out, that's an amazing way to help out, is to help kind of spread the word, either verbally or to help put up flyers in areas near you.
I love it. One last thing that I completely forgot about. I had set a note off to the side that says, "Do not forget." So we have dealers and artists that are coming from out of town, and I saw a tweet from Reno, who is an artist who is coming up to a table at CybFest, and they ask, does anyone know of cool things to do and see in the Seattle to Kent, Washington area? I'm gonna be there at the end of the month, so they're very excited to come up.
Museum of Flight is an awesome place. Mopop, another amazing place. That's Seattle. Museum of Flight's kind of south of Seattle. Tons of like game stores and comic shops and stuff like that. There's several Lego stores if you're into Lego.
There's so much cool stuff to do around Seattle. Now that I don't live near there anymore, I've realized how much stuff I miss about like being near a big tourist destination. When I take people to Seattle, I always recommend finding a small neighborhood and just walking around. There's so many cool little shops and things like that. Go to Pike Place, but go on. I prefer to go to Pike Place on a weekend because there's like street performers and stuff.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot more fun. Space Needle's a little bit overrated and it's pretty expensive. But if you want to do it, then go for it. Get a city pass if you're going to go do all that Seattle stuff.
You beat me to it. That was going to be my go-to, because like, especially if it's a city you haven't been to, get a city pass and it will incline you to check out stuff that you might not have. In addition to all of those things, I was going to say the market as well, because like it's one of those things that is a tourist trap, but it's still uniquely Seattle. And it's not as like crassly consumerist as Space Needle. Because a lot of us locals will tell you, Space Needle is cool, but it's a little overrated.
The Pike Place Starbucks is not worth it. Walk outside of it and look and be like, there's the first Starbucks, and then just keep going. Don't
even get on that, because like I work in downtown Seattle, so I see the lines of like, foreign tourists coming off of cruise ships and stuff, and it's like, dude, it's just a Starbucks. And here's the other thing too. I don't want to bust nobody's nostalgia, but it's not even the first Starbucks. Like,
oh, really?
But yeah, I mean, they call it the original Starbucks, and it's because it's one of the first ones that opened. But like the first one was up the block and over a bit. It's on like Western or something like that, and it's a bank now. Like it's not even like a Starbucks anymore. So it's to me, it's manufactured, but it's still cool though. Like if you're like a Starbucks aficionado and want to have that kind of collections, I think that's the only place where you could go and get like the original logo with the topless mermaid lady, which everybody should have more topless mermaid ladies on your mugs. Take that to work. Totally safe for work. But
you could get the Starbucks at the one they call as the original, and then take it to the bank and drink it in the bank. So
there you go.
I don't think it's worth it. It's just look at it and keep going. Then go to Beavers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah.
And there's still lots of cool live music venues around Seattle. So if you're into music, lots of cool local bands.
Yeah.
We should put all this stuff on the tourist page I asked Jason to make, I think.
That's not a bad idea. And I think that's kind of what the inspiration was. It's like, oh, well, as CybFest gets bigger, more and more people are coming from out of town, and it's a lot of like first timers too. And it's like, maybe we should put our heads together and, create some stuff to do. But like, also, and I think it's in a city pass, but like I recommend an Argosy cruise too, just take a little harbor tour. I've never done that. It's rad. My wife and I did it several years ago, and it's very cool. It gets you to look at the city from a different vantage point. It's very cool. But with that, we are now late for our meeting.
Late for our own meeting. We gotta go.
We're late for our own meeting. Our friends are waiting for us. But we do have to cut it here. But again, thanks for spending part of your Friday with us, and hopefully we will see you all in August in Kent, August 3rd, CybFest Northwest 2024. And that will wrap things up for this episode. Thank you so much for listening and for hanging out with us. If you want to listen to my podcast, Mike Seibert Radio, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, not Google Podcasts. This is an old outro. Spotify, TuneIn, or wherever the hell else you listen to your podcast. Like, share, rate, and review the show. Let us know what you like and what you'd like to hear more of in the future. For my guests, Ben and Whirl from the CybFest Northwest organization team, my name is Mike. This has been Mike Seibert Radio. And until next time, till all are one, make good choices. You did it. Bye, friends.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Mike, for hosting.
Mike Seibert Radio is recorded in Seattle, Washington. Our original theme song is written and performed by Lucia Fasano. Get her music on all streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, and check out her Instagram at Lucia_Fasano. Our closing theme is a nice place to visit by these young fools, used with permission from Michael Geissler. For more music like it, check out Michael's website, bytormusic.com. Special thanks to Andy Lita for our logos and graphic design. He is at GoGoAndyRobo out on Twitter. Become Mike Cybertronian and join the MSRP Friends and Fans Facebook group. And you can follow me on all the social medias. Most of the social medias at Mike Seibert Radio. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And check out my YouTube channel for even more videos and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Want to be a guest on the show? Send me an email, MikeSeibertRadio@gmail.com.